So let's talk about signs of toxic shame. And there's been a lot of research showing that toxic shame can manifest psychologically, of course, but also physically. There's we secrete a lot of stress hormones because toxic shame and your shame is so stressful, and that triggers a lot of physical symptoms. So we can see wanting to sleep all the time or an inability to sleep, stomach pain or GI issues, headaches, overeating, or loss of appetite. And of course, the psychological issues that can result from toxic shame are many: anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and feelings of self-worth, which can also, of course, be some suicidality, substance use disorders, including eating disorders, anger and rage outbursts, codependency or fawning, self-consciousness, which I'll talk about, ongoing feelings of inadequacy, a negatively impacted sense of self. I know, it's quite a bit. And let me say this, if you've ever been self-conscious, you have felt shame. And this blew me away. I think it was our lovely Brene Brown where I first read this. When I first read this, I thought, oh my, what? I did not realize that. Because I've certainly been self-conscious. Shame and humiliation, along with guilt and embarrassment, belong to a family of emotions that are referred to as the self-conscious emotions. And they're called the self-conscious emotions because they make you think about yourself. You become, you guessed it, self-conscious. So I know. So now other emotions you might not have realized are also shame-based are feelings of insecurity, of course, feeling dumb or stupid, or feeling like you've never reached the bar, that feeling. So shame can really result in underachieving, in self-sabotage, and perfectionism. I know. Sit with it. Take it in. Ugh. Thomas Scheff. It's like Scheff. Thomas Scheff. He's a professor emeritus at UC Santa Barbara. He says that shame is the most obstructed and hidden emotion and therefore destructive. And here's what he says. He says, emotions are like breathing. They cause trouble only when obstructed. How do you like that? Ooh. Mic drop. I'm not going to drop my mic. It's very expensive. Okay. All right. So what causes shame? Most often than not, shame stems from some kind of childhood experiences. The issue is that you might not think you have shame because you had a quote unquote good childhood. And shame, of course, can arise from major trauma, sexual, emotional, or physical abuse, neglect. But shame also comes from the more quote like innocent ways our parents or people important to us interacted with us. Maybe you were a little kid, you spilled the glass of juice, kids do that. But instead of your parents saying, oh, don't worry, these things happen, or, maybe you had a parent or even a sibling who would yell at you. You're such a klutz. What's wrong with you? Why are you're always doing stuff like this, right? Starts to become internalized. Shame also comes about because of, again, other kinds of judgment or criticism. Give me that. You're always doing it wrong anyway. Maybe someone dismissed or demeaned your efforts or your wins. Maybe I see a lot of comparisons to older siblings, oh, you should just quit baseball and try something else. You'll never be as good as your brother. Or being compared to a kid down the street, why can't you be more like Juan? Like, why can't you be more like him? So sometimes shame doesn't come also from your home environment. It could have been, again, a coach who humiliated you in front of your team, or a teacher who embarrassed you by pointing out, mistakes in class or something, or the fact that you couldn't read or couldn't read quickly. And based on this perspective, heightened shame arises from not having our early needs sufficiently satisfied. I mean, I think that's what we can say. So, and again, physical or emotional abuse or neglect, any interactions that encourage a kid to believe I'm bad rather than I did something bad, they all contribute to shame.